Wednesday night has arrived yet again, and that means, folks, it's time for another Auburn Family Night. This is the show here at E2C Network that's all about you, the Auburn family, your calls, your questions, your comments, all that's coming up right now. Well, War Eagle Auburn family, and a special War Eagle and welcome to those of you that consider yourselves part of our E2C Network family, the best little family within the Auburn family. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, spending some time talking about anything and everything Auburn. My name is Kyle. For those of you that don't know me, I am the main content creator and host here at E2C Network. Excited to bring to you another Auburn Family Night, which is the show dedicated to you. Every single Wednesday night, we get together and we talk about all things Auburn. The best way we say it here is if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. We talk about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family topics. It's all fair game here, and we're going to get into a bunch of those different things tonight. So don't be shy. Jump on into the chat. If you're watching live, especially if you're on the replay, you can do some similar things, but obviously you won't be able to interact with us in the live format. But nonetheless, however you got here, whenever you got here, we appreciate you being here. One of the ways you can help us out is smashing the like button. It's a huge help getting the show started off on a good note. Lets people know we're live, especially. Lets people know they need to check this type of content out. And if you can do that for us, that's great. Also, let us know that you're here, especially if you're live, by checking in with us. Post where you're watching from, your city, your state, international, anything like that. Love to know where people are checking in from when they tune in to the particular show. So on every Wednesday night, it's all about you, as we said. The call line is open. You can take advantage of that whenever you would like to tonight and get in line for that. That is available for you at the top of the chat window. So be sure to take advantage of that. You can click on it and be on camera, off camera. It's always brought to you by our friends at allthingsauburn.net. Check them out for a great place to stay and have a great Auburn experience when you visit the loveliest village on the plains. While you guys are getting geared up, thinking about maybe some of the things that you want to talk about, throwing in some greetings to myself and to everybody else that's checking in the chat, I guess we could at least talk about a few of the things that have been going on. It is summer and it is very slow right now, and things are very, I won't call it boring. And is my mic not on? Hold on a second. Oh, is the mic not working? What happened to the mic? Uh-oh, it's got me a little worried. Let me know if the microphone is going okay. If it is buzzing a little bit, we can switch things over. That has happened before. What happened to the mic? Rise Life is throwing me off just a little bit right now. He's got me nervous. In the meantime, until it just sounds a little different. Rise Life, you cannot make me panic like that. Do you know how nerve-wracking that is for a content creator when someone says, hey, what's up with the mic? Does it sound good, bad, worse? Let me know. Always interested to know if those things are going on. But yes, you brought my heart rate up just a little bit there, thinking it had disconnected. Anyway, as I was saying, setting the table during summer, everything's a little bit slower. Everything's running a little bit, scratchy sounds. That's unfortunate. I don't know why that would be. Let's see here. I wonder. Let's see if we've got some things working here that need to be working a different way. Give me 1 second. Sounds like you're in a bathroom talking through the door. Why on earth would that be the case? Aha. Folks, it makes so much sense when you turn your mic on to the correct mic. That's all it is. I wonder if my headphones in here had connected to the computer as opposed to the microphone. Anyway, great start to the show. As always, it wouldn't be E2C Network if we didn't have a little bit of shenanigans at the start of things. All right. With that being said, what's on y'all's minds? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to discuss? Let's get into all the different things that may or may not be on your mind before people start wanting to take calls or call in. Neil's now trying to mess with me. Take the lens cap off the camera. I know I'm watching the camera right now, so I know for a fact we're good there. So don't start messing with me about that. All the different things. We're all waiting for NCAA or College Football 25 to get out here. Coach Hugh Freeze met with the media at the Ambush event and talked a little bit about some minor in the sense that it wasn't like earth-shattering news, but just some roster updated things. All of that's on the table, of course. Bo Jackson just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. We put our segment out talking about that from the Auburn Experience show today. So if you want our thoughts about that, me and Austin, that's out for you guys today. So there's plenty of things that you could talk about, but we'll dive into mainly what you guys want to discuss. Drip Edits is excited for college football 25, not NCAA 25. We've got to break this habit. I know. It will always be NCAA football, whatever year. To us, those of us that have played it for years and years, and when you've been playing NCAA 14, the last one, for years and years and years and years, it's hard to break that habit. But it is college football 25, not NCAA 25. I find that interesting as well. Is that a sign that the NCAA, they're worried it's going to be kaput, which I think some of us would be, in favor for, to be honest with you. Rise Life says, are they ever going to change to Nike? Well, first off, Rise Life, let me give you information that you need. A place to find it. I don't know if you've watched our live streams with Clint Richardson. When this announcement was made, we went over all of that stuff in great detail. So if you haven't, please do go check out that live stream. You can find it, the Auburn Nike deal. And we did a reaction live stream to it. We did all these different things. The Nike deal is not starting until a year from now. July 1st was the year mark until that actually starts. So if you want further details about it, there's not a lot of concrete information out there about the deal itself, other than it begins on July 1st, 2025. But yes, that Nike deal is happening. You're just going to have to be patient for it, whether you're excited for it or not. It is still a ways to go. You have one more year with Under Armour. Someone like me who was not unopposed to us being associated with Under Armour, I'm going to relish every moment that we have with it. But I know those of you that have been screaming for this, you will get it sooner rather than later, and you're very excited for that. Let's see here. Bryant wants to know, is the deadline for JuJu's decision? What is the deadline for his decision on JuJu? All right, so Bryant is a good enough guy. He's been here a while that I'm not going to go in on him like I do on some people on the other thing. We need to stop focusing about JuJu Lewis. Like, I cannot stress this enough to those of you that are in the Auburn family. This is the Ryan Williams situation all over again. I've been saying that since the get-go. I've been begging, I've been pleading, I've been hoping that everybody would wise up to that. Please don't worry about JuJu. In fact, don't worry about the decision-making process of 17 and 18-year-olds. What you should be worried about is who we currently have and how that factors into the equation. Now, your argument's going to be obviously, what that all factors into it. And of course it does. But what I'm saying is this is, once again, there's a lot of hype centralized around one particular player. Auburn fans get into it, recruiting him on social media, and it doesn't really amount to anything. Now, his decision, as you asked, and any decision is not finalized until they sign on the dotted line. And even then, there's technically outs now for them, it seems like, where they can ask for a release from their commitment, their scholarship, so to speak, if they signed on signing day, early signing day. So you have no timeline for any decision on anybody, much less a JuJu Lewis. So if it happens, it's great, and we're going to celebrate it here, but I'm not counting on it happening. Not because I think one way or the other. It's just how I have had to roll your eyes at me at this point, because y'all haven't broken free of the grip hold that recruiting has on you. It took me a while to do it too, so I understand. Let's see, what do we got here? I'm trying to figure out where we at. This is the Caleb Williams, this transfer decision, basically. It's kind of interesting. David says he's going to be buying all the Under Armour he can. I agree. If I had the budget for it, I would. In fact, there's going to be some great things, I'm sure, on sale at some point this year. Maybe like when we get to March, or wait till maybe like baseball season next year gets going, and maybe you'll have some things there. Is the War Dustbuster shirt still available? I couldn't find it. Now, if you're looking on the what's called the Teespring or the Spring store on where did it go? TeePublic. I'm looking for something here. If you're looking on the store that's connected to YouTube, that's not going to be where the thing is. I will consider moving that over there for you guys if you want it. But if you go to TeePublic, you're going to see on the first page, I'm looking at it right now, War Dustbuster with a gray background, a heather gray background. It says War Dustbuster on the thing. It is a very crude. It is a very very crude, design by myself. I'm not going to say that it's amazing, but if you want to buy it, it's on teepublic.com/E2C network. I think the link's in the description here on YouTube. But for those of you that want to be in on that inside joke and have the t-shirt for that, it's something that's been going on for a long time. I clicked the E2C shop link in the description. Oh, did it take you to the store? If it didn't, let me know, because I need to see what's going on with that link. But it should be there on the first page. I'm looking at it right now, right below our logo, actually, the way it's situated on mine. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? I still go look at Gunnar Stockton every now and then. I hope he'll come to Auburn. Well, Bryant was just curious. I really like Hank, and I think he's going to step up when we need it. So I guess, Bryant, if I can read in to what you're saying here, is that you're excited. It takes you to Teespring. teepublic.com/E2C network. Go there. It's like it was our main t-shirt shop. Anyway, with side conversation there, WT. So we'll have to, if you can't find it after that, we'll have to figure something else out. So what I'm curious about is this, and I'm seeing this develop more so recently, about a lot of Auburn fans. I'm getting asked a lot, and the topic brought up a lot about Hank Brown. And it started a little bit after his bowl game and performance, which, again, can I please remind you all that the bowl game performance, while it looked good, was in garbage time against the backups of the backups. So I'm just curious where everybody's opinion that Hank Brown is going to be the answer, or everybody's kind of wishing for him to be the answer, is coming from. I'm not saying it can't be the case, and I'm not saying it won't be the case, but I'm just curious where this is coming from, because I'm smart enough to know that a lot of you frequent a lot of different Auburn content shows. And so I'm kind of intrigued where this started and all that kind of stuff, because it's really fired up again. I have seen nothing on paper from Hank Brown to indicate that we should have more hope in him than we should Holden, than we should Walker, than we should Peyton Thorne. So I'm just curious where it comes from. It's an oddity that I'm trying to figure out right now. That was a terrible game. It was a terrible game. It was a terrible game from literally the kickoff on. I cannot think of very many games where I saw one thing go wrong and I said, "That's it. We're not going to make it any much further there." Bryant is talking about, I've seen interviews like his character, and I also say this. I'm sure I've seen a few of those as well. And I think he also has a very likable personality, which is a key component of being a great quarterback. In being a very charismatic, in some ways. You don't always have to be that, but that's very helpful as the de facto leader of the team in some sense. But that alone can't be what sells us on a quarterback. And I think a lot of this stems from everybody is trying to reconcile with those of you that aren't, and I'm not saying Brian is or anybody here particularly is, in the camp of still not buying into Peyton Thorne. Your coach, even just yesterday, has said Peyton Thorne's your guy. It's been said 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 1,000 times over. We need to stop hoping and wishing about all these other guys. Hopefully in the future, they're going to be some great things for us, but we've got a starting quarterback, period. Done, over with. But until that time, it'll be great to see what other opportunities Hank and Holden and Walker get, and how it factors in to the rest of the depth chart. Who's going to be truly the second guy, the third guy, the fourth guy? Are they really second, third, and fourth? That's the quarterback race. It's not a quarterback race for who's the starting job. It's who's going to be doing the backup right there, which could determine so many other things. Let's see. Okay. What I thought there was something on here that we haven't talked about yet. All right, we got our first caller in. I see him down there, so we're gonna go ahead and talk to him and see what he's got on his mind this evening. You know him, you love him. He's Captain Optimism. What's up, Kevin?
Where you go, Cal?
How you doing there, buddy? With the Braves hat and the Auburn jerseys, sporting both the teams, huh?
Yeah, number 18.
Is that for Cody? Is that for Seth? Is that for somebody else?
Cody and Seth.
You got to pick one. You can only do one tonight. Who you picking?
Seth Williams.
Okay, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Look, I love Seth Williams, and I hate that we didn't get to see him flourish even more so here. I wish he had stayed around for another year.
Where does he play at?
I don't know that he's playing anywhere right now. I could do a quick Google search and see if he's on a roster somewhere, but I know he went to the Broncos. I don't think he's any. Well, actually, right now, ESPN had him listed at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that was for last season. So he has one reception in his career from the 2023 year. So I would assume that's with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I don't know if he's still there or not. I'll do some looking while you're talking.
Where is Jarrett Stidham at?
Jarrett is at the Denver Broncos along with Bo Nix. So unfortunately, I know. Isn't that the worst thing ever that we have to have two Auburn guys compete against each other?
Yeah.
It is the worst thing in the world. I hate it. We can't ever seem to get nice things.
Bo Nix should have stayed at Auburn.
I would have loved to see him stay at Auburn. I really would have. I do not think, Kevin, it was the wise choice for him for his career to stay, nor do I think the Auburn fans who are overly vocal about these type of things would have given him the opportunity that he deserved beyond that point. So in my mind, it was the best of a bad situation. I'm glad he left as a graduate, though. If you're going to leave, that's the best way to leave. He left as a graduate, so he will always be an Auburn Tiger no matter what. His diploma, if nothing else, speaks for that. And that just because if you don't have a diploma and you're an Auburn fan, that doesn't make you less of an Auburn fan. It just means that kind of gives him that stamp of approval. I did what you're technically supposed to do as a student athlete. That's it, So I wish he'd have stayed. I just don't know that it was the best decision for him to do so.
Yeah, and I think Cam Coleman will be the main player this year.
A lot of people do. I am still trying to wave the caution flag a little bit on people and say, hey, let's give the kid a chance to get out there and see what he does. But he certainly is getting hyped up a lot, not just by fans, by the Auburn University media stuff as well, too.
I can't wait to meet him at the fan day.
You might get to do that. I don't know if they're going to have like a autograph session these days. They tend to keep those with On to Victory or something like that.
They did that last year.
If they did that last year, I missed out on it because I don't think they did it last year
because you were out of town.
No, I was at Fan Day. I promise you. I got video to prove I was there. So I'm 99% sure there was not a autograph session down there. But if you catch them out in the street, obviously they can do that. Best way to do it, honestly, is to come to Reverse Tiger Walk. It's kind of lost a lot of its luster over the last few years for a variety of reasons, but Reverse Tiger Walks on Friday is a good time to come
on Friday.
Come see it. Friday night before the team leaves for the hotel before home games. Last year it was about 4:30, but I don't know what time it'll be this year.
Then they have locker room visits.
Yep, you can do that on Friday as well. I typically go in there most weeks just to kind of peruse around and see if there's anything interesting to see. It's a good chance just to go somewhere you don't normally get to go.
And they haven't announced the fan day yet, but
they have not. But I hope they'll have something because I know you're excited about it.
But I'm getting one like those 4-game mini package.
You are getting a 4-game mini pack?
Yeah, next Monday.
So what games are you buying? Which mini pack are you getting?
Alabama A&M, California, and Texas, and Arkansas and Texas A&M.
So you get Alabama A&M, Cal, Texas A&M, and Arkansas.
Yeah,
it's not a bad 4-pack. I know you probably would love to have that Oklahoma game, but but all in all, that's a pretty good pack.
Yeah, and I think Bryce Kane and the rest of the wide receivers, they will step up, and Peyton Thorne will throw the all long touchdown passes.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. A lot of people, he's got a lot of naysayers out there, and some constructive criticism is warranted for him. But a lot of the people,
I think,
really aren't as informed as they think they are about the situation.
And I think Walker White will be the backup.
He's got a lot of talent. I'm not so convinced that he will be a backup. I'm not convinced that Holden won't be the backup.
Yeah, Hank Brown's good too.
Hank Brown as well is going to be. I think exactly by their tenure is how the depth chart will look. I think it's Peyton, Holden, Hank, and then Walker White. I think you saw during the spring practice, still's got some stuff to work on. Coach said as much. That's not me critiquing him. That's just going off of what I saw and what Coach said. So I think it's fair to say, based on what we know, which is very limited, that the depth chart is, as I just said, Peyton, Holden, Hank, and Walker. And it'll probably stay that way most of the year.
And Jaquez Hunter will be ready.
I hope so. He seems ready. He seems fired up. Seeing him in a lot of media this offseason, which is a good change of pace. And I hope he'll have a good season.
When is the SEC media day?
I'll give you the dates if you give me 2 seconds here. I believe it is the 14th through the 18th in Dallas, Texas.
In Dallas?
Yeah, 15th through the 18th. Auburn's will be on the 18th, the last day.
What's on July 25th?
What's on July 25th? I have no clue. July 25th?
Something about Auburn on 3 or something.
Oh, I have no clue. If it's with another company, I have no clue. You're asking the wrong guy, my friend. The 25th, that might be... It could be the first day of practice, to be honest with you. I don't know that it's officially been announced yet, but if you look at the trajectory of when practice normally gets announced, which is right after media days.
When is the Big Cat Weekend?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. It might be Big Cat Weekend.
Big Cat Weekend. Yeah.
I'm not sure when it is, but that sounds about. I would imagine they want to pull that off right before fall practice starts. So,
And there's a commitment coming soon.
From who?
By JuJu Lewis.
I don't know about that, my friend. I think I hope you're right, and I'll be the first to say I was wrong. But I think your hopes and dreams are placed best elsewhere.
And the other wide receiver.
Again, I think your hopes are best placed elsewhere, but Hey, if you're right, we'll come back and say, Kevin, you were right.
Jeffrey Lee thinks I'm right.
Well, I think so Jeffrey Lee, are you his source?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm excited anytime anybody commits, but we'll see if any of that comes true. I got time for one more question tonight. What you got?
What's wrong with the field goal kicker?
I do not know. That's his own personal health information. Coach didn't want to talk about it. So I think there's some rumors out there about something with digestive stuff. So it's nothing that'll keep him from playing, it seems like. You guys good?
Yeah.
All right, Kevin.
It's behind the garbage can.
All right, Kevin. Well, thank you for calling in tonight, buddy. It's good to hear from you as always.
War Eagle, go Braves.
Go Braves too, sir. All right, that was Kevin, one of our regulars. You guys can call in too by hitting that call-in link. Don't be shy. Ironically, this week, I've mentioned this before, we do a lot of somewhat daily streams during weekdays on TikTok. And I get a lot of Bama fans over there. Just the weirdest thing ever. It's real little brother mentality stuff over there that claim every single time that they're going to call in and talk about all big and bad stuff. Where are they? I know. Dalton knows. We've got one in particular who promised that he was going to call in tonight. Somehow, Dalton, I think we're going to get a message tomorrow from him if we do the live stream that he forgot what time it was, or that he was tired. He ain't calling in. Let's see. Where are we at right now? He might be talking about the War Ready game. Is that when it is? Is it the 25th? War Ready. I had this all, you know what? I had this written down in my notes for this week's show, so I could just tell you there. All right. So what he's referencing is the Auburn basketball team that's put together through it's called the basketball tournament, TBT. The game for Auburn for War Ready, the Auburn team, is the 19th, the day after SEC Media Days. And here's the other thing, folks. Here's the worst part about it. Let me double check on when NCAA football is being released. You guys are probably screaming at me, right? The 19th. So let me just put this to you. You will have SEC Media Days all week. Auburn ends it on the 18th. And then on Friday, not only will you have the War Ready Auburn team game in the basketball tournament, you will have the release of College Football 25. On top of that, who knows what else is going to be breaking that day. Basically, don't talk to me the week of the 14th through the 19th. It's going to be crazy. WT says they should have been called War Regal. I don't know. Dalton, you should. If y'all are connected, you should. He said you should tell him he's getting roasted here for not showing up. Wow. Why are they always in the comments? It's a great question, CJ. And what he's referring to is Auburn, excuse me. Well, yeah, I guess. And if there's any Auburn fans doing this, I would obviously rebuke them. But Alabama and Georgia fans are kind of joining in too as of late. Coming over to Auburn specific streams, like this isn't like a sports general college football talk. It's clear that this is an Auburn chat. And I'm talking about here, TikTok, wherever. We make it very clear this is intended for Auburn people. Anybody's welcome as long as they behave. But you come in there just to stir up things and cause problems. Like, how bored are you, like, in your life, and that gives you joy somehow? And they say some things that they would never say in person or things like that. They want to act tough behind a anonymous account, but never, ever, ever would put their voice or their face to a name or call in. I keep wanting him. Like, I hope like I'm saying something like that. And Micah is actually one of the good people out there. It seems like he takes it in stride. We give him a hard time as an Alabama fan. We we love to give him a hard time because he was so adamant. Oh, I'm calling in. And I said, no, you won't. And never has. He's been in the chat before here. Anyway. Let's see here. I read something that said Auburn students will get to play the game early in the game room. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure they're somehow going to get early access to it. If you're not aware, at the bottom of the student center, they have basically a huge gaming center down there. It looks like an arcade, but you can, it's like a cross between an arcade, which that's what it is for gaming, but also like a Best Buy store, but really nice. Oh, there he is, as if on cue. There he is. Micah, we have been roasting you, my friend. Hit the link, sir. You pinky promised. Oh, my goodness. Unbeaten Lake says early access for college football 25. 20 is on the 15th through the 16th. If you buy, yes, that early package, which I think I'm planning on doing. I think. I hope I can swing that. I've got to buy a new system, which I just not upgraded, but fixed some internet stuff that we had going on here. Bring in that one Twitter user with the Nate Oates name. I want to fight him. Well, Rise Live, if you're wanting to fight people over social media, it's time to get off social media for a little bit. And if you're letting somebody like that get under your skin with an anonymous account, you definitely just don't want to do it. All right. It looks like we might have somebody loading in. It looks like he needs to get his devices connected, but we'll give him a second. The moment of truth may be happening here today, folks. The attempts, I will give him credit, whether his devices connect or not. The attempts are being made. So credit where credit is due. In the meantime, while we wait for that to happen, if you guys have other big Auburn topics that we haven't discussed yet that you'd like to have some time spent on, go ahead and gear those up, put them in the chat, and then we'll obviously cover those in as much detail as we can. Micah, I see that you're there, but it says your devices are not connected. So if I pull you up, it'll just be a blank screen, meaning not even an audio thing. So keep trying. I don't know what's going on there, sir, but I'm seeing a not connected thing. So I'm not going to just have dead air. I got to figure out how to get that connected. Technology is tough for Bama fans sometimes. All right. What else? So if you saw Coach Hugh Freeze or some of his commentary from the ambush event this week, he talked a little bit about roster stuff. Kevin asked about one of the things earlier, which was Alex McPherson, our starting kicker, who was already out with an injury, which I'm kind of suspicious now if this was the reason. Because when I saw him walking around, he looked completely fine. I don't know. The statements that have been made is that he has an illness that is keeping him from practicing and participating in some things right now. It is not a injury of any kind, but also the update was it will not keep him from playing this season. Now, I don't know what's going on. I have no confirmation of that, but I will say that it's kind of interesting now when you look back, because if you think about when we took in this recruiting cycle another kicker with still likely 2 years left with Alex McPherson, you don't typically see those guys go to the draft early. I found it very interesting in how that was going to work. And so I'm wondering if there were some questions about that already, were they trying to address the punter situation? Now, Towns Magoo is a field goal kicker by, I think, his strength, but I would assume he also is pretty good at punting because most, especially high school, you have a punter and a kicker, or you have a person doing it all. So I would wonder if he's being brought in to learn for a little bit and be utilized wherever he can and potentially take over for Oscar Chapman until Alec McPherson leaves. So I don't know. All right. Yes, and he is the starting kicker, Alec McPherson. All right, looks like we've got it connected. We have been waiting, begging, and he just left. Oh, no. I was setting him up for such a grand entrance, and his thing went away. I promise he's trying, folks. I'm giving him credit. Anyway, we'll keep waiting to see what's going on there. Private chat. He said, I got it, I think. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. WT says, why don't you number the AFN, the Auburn Family Night shows, what we're doing now, like you do the Auburn Experience shows? AFN, it's not a very podcast friendly type of numbering or stuff like that. Because these things are best done in a live format because it's just a bunch of conversation back and forth. Sometimes it's crazy, wild, off the hook. It's not something that people typically want to go back and reference. Now, with the Auburn Experience, we have a lot of evergreen content in there that people want to go back and reference. So it's good to have that known. So that's the main reason I would tell you. But that is why there is no numbering. It's a good question. It's just there's not really a one core reason for that. It's WT is asking all the inside stuff tonight. He's like trying to get into my brain here tonight. All right, I'm gonna try to set him up one more time. Since the dawn of time, we have been begging, hoping, wishing, getting peaky promises about one individual, one Bama fan who's become notorious in some ways, famous in others on TikTok. And finally, to this day, after pinky promising and having to be reminded, he's here. Micah, what's going on, sir?
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Doing very well.
Man,
I told you I would, and I said I did.
Now, let's be honest. Did you forget about it until he came over there and told you about it?
Maybe just a little bit.
I had a feeling. But hey, it's good to finally hear your voice, sir. So I appreciate you for following through with what you said you would do.
I appreciate it. I enjoy the content, man.
Good. Well, I'm glad we bring some value to you. I don't know what value an Auburn fan brings to an Alabama fan, but hey, I'll take it wherever we can get it.
Football is football.
That is very true. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Not much. As you know, I'm a huge Bama fan, so
yeah, we all have our problems. I got it. Well, so tell me a little bit about what you as an Alabama fan view in this Auburn football team this year. And be honest, if you think we're going to be terrible, tell me. But what are your true feelings about this 2024 Auburn football team?
Well, I mean, it don't seem too bad so far.
Right. From what we can figure out.
Like I've said before, I think the landscape of college football, especially the SEC, is going to change.
Right.
Coming up now this year with all that's going through. So there's no telling what could happen now.
It does seem like the playing field is getting leveled more, in a variety of different ways, whether it's conference expansion, NIL. I mean, just think about it. In really about 2 or 3 years' time, this game, outside of the X's and O's, has really changed. And sometimes that's going to benefit some schools, and other times, I think it's a case of the rich are going to get richer. And I would throw Auburn and prominent programs like Auburn and everybody else, in that the Power 5, Power 4, whatever it is now, they're going to be the ones that benefit from it. And it's not going to be something that doesn't affect you too bad if you were already up there in prominence and in stability and all that kind of stuff. But are you going to be going to the Auburn Alabama game this year?
Oh, I wished I could. If I could, I would.
What do you think those ticket prices are going to be?
Hey, Probably well in the thousands.
Depends on what.
Depends on the season, really, for both teams.
Yep. Yep. I somehow, the cheapest I've ever paid for an Iron Bowl ticket was, I forget which year it was. We won it, but I think it was like 2000, was it 17 or something like that? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But that was like the cheapest I ever got in for was $50. I think as a student, I had to pay $100 for that particular ticket when I was there. I can't remember exactly, and inflation, all that kind of stuff is taken over what prices actually were and weren't back then. But it depends on where you want to sit. I'm sure in Bryant-Denny, you can probably find $1,000 tickets, but in the same sense, you could probably find a decent ticket. What do you think is a decent ticket for the Iron Bowl?
I mean, I wouldn't want to be up in the nosebleeds. That's
Sure.
the only thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, even those are going to cost probably a couple $100.
Yeah. I think the most I paid was $300 for one year. And I can't remember which one that was, but that was definitely a high profile one. It wasn't the Kick Six. The Kick Six I got in for, anyway, I can't remember what it was, but there was a lot of electricity around that game. A lot of electricity around that one. Really excited. Well, what else is up?
Go
ahead.
That all depends on, like I said, the how both teams do basically.
Okay.
If one team's not doing as good, and it'd be just like, going to one of those little small school games, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more, but not, ticket prices would reflect on what the season looks like. Because I mean, as you know, they're pretty fluid throughout the year.
Yeah, they can be. I'm obviously questioning whether I should have bought season tickets this year, because I'm curious, outside of the Oklahoma game for Auburn, will you be able to find some reasonably priced tickets the week of, essentially? But it's so much less of a hassle if you're going to be at all the games like I'm going to be, or at least be on campus, just to go ahead and buy them, even for the nosebleed section. Mine are in the nosebleeds, not all the way up. Actually, strategically this year, I bought mine at one of the first spots that gets shade in the stadium. I'm talking about in all the stadium. Especially up in the upper deck. So I knew when we had 5 straight games at home starting in August that it was time to be smart about this and stop thinking about view and think about comfort and probably skin cancer as well. So you don't get too much of that being sunburnt all the time up there. It's amazing the things that you'll think about when you get older. And I'm not
right.
All right. So give me real quick. I don't know how long you want to stay on, but give me, what do Auburn fans need to know about this Alabama team this year, from what you can tell?
Well, I've said it all along since they started with, right after Saban retired, and that would be with any team too.
Yeah.
Everybody's, oh my gosh, we're gonna suck. They pulled in a coach that brought a Washington team out of a conference that was basically imploding on itself, and brought them to prominence in the national championship talk.
Yeah.
I'm not as mad about getting Kalen DeBoer as a lot of people are. To me, I think he's a good choice.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
No, and time will tell, obviously. It's way too early to be reacting to these things, whether we're talking about from an Auburn perspective about head coaching hires and stuff like that. So many people act like they know what they're talking about and say, oh, this is a terrible hire, it's a bad hire. You really don't know what it's all about, the fit, right? Because who knows? I'm going to say it, folks. Brian Harsin might have been a good hire if the fit was right. The fit was not right. So if DeBoer is a great fit at Bama, it'll work. If it's not, it's going to burn up into flames, and Auburn fans are going to have a good time with that. But, it goes both ways, though. It goes both ways.
I think he's kept pretty well with the spirit of the way that Saban has kept things there, or kept things there for the past decade.
Yeah. Well, and he's got a good blueprint to work with.
Yeah.
And I think he would be stupid to not follow that blueprint mostly. And any coach that comes in and tries to tear down. Go ahead.
Any coach is going to have their own way of doing certain things, but
right,
he's going to have a lot on his back anyways, being the fact of who he's replacing.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's
it's with any coach. I mean, if was it Gus? Was it 2010? Was Gus, wasn't it?
2010 was Gene Chizik.
Chizik, okay, yeah. I mean, if he would have retired right after that national championship game, and then you bring somebody else in, they're going to have big shoes to fill, because now the fans are expecting another run.
Yep.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say he's in a hot seat, but there should be no reason he should be in a hot seat right off the bat without the season even starting. But
yeah,
there's a lot to be expected, and he's got some shoes to fill, and people won't think already that he can fill it.
Listen, if there's any Alabama fans out there that legitimately think that Kalen DeBoer is on the hot seat and without even coaching a down yet, I really need to have a conversation with them about their mental health. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, just enjoy what you got right now. Give him more than a year. Now listen, we're going to do our best we can to make it difficult on him. I don't know that it's going to do that much this year since the game's in Bryant-Denny, but if it was in Jordan-Hare, we know how that might go, at least interestingly enough. But
well, we had talked about that before, about the woe is me, sky is falling fans that every fan base has.
Right.
And I mean, that's what's it's going to happen. You're going to have those people.
Absolutely.
But I'm seeing a little bit more optimistic approach for it.
I hope so, because those people are the worst in the world, the ones that just are Debbie Downers about everything. And I don't care what fan base we're talking about. I'm not saying you got to be a sunshine pumper, which is always, as I've said, you've heard me say, this is the weirdest thing to try to be an insult. But at least believe that your team can be capable of some stuff. And I think I'll say it live here. I don't think Alabama's got too much to worry about this year, but we'll see how the season shakes out. And hopefully the season will be interesting, especially when we get to the end of it for that Iron Bowl. It's the greatest rivalry in college football for a reason. It's the greatest rivalry in sports, in my opinion, for a reason. And we'll hopefully see another big addition there. I got to give you credit, Micah. A lot of people have said that they wouldn't call in, but you did it. So
I told you I would.
Thank you for pinky promising. Thank you for being a man of your word.
I have a question for you. What do you think? And I had the same question back when
Sure.
Mizzou and Texas A&M came in, and Texas A&M, for the most part, proved themselves. Mizzou, they were on and off. They've been on and off for a few years.
Right.
What do you think of Texas and Oklahoma? I think Texas has already well proven themselves to be capable.
I think Oklahoma
got
a lot of Heisman trophies, got a lot of national championships. They're in the conversation every year. I think they're. How about this? Let's compare the addition of Texas A&M and Missouri to the addition of Oklahoma and Texas. It's night and day. It's a wildly better addition this time around.
Yes, I will agree with that.
And that's partly because Oklahoma is the number 2 in that, and they are the number 2 in that. Let's not kid ourselves. You just said it. Texas is the better of those two options. And you're right. I think they fit more. I think they already feel a little bit more SEC, if you can, in what is the SEC now. Oklahoma's a little bit of an oddball, like Missouri, but they feel like they fit all across the board better than Missouri does. Sorry, Missouri fans. That's just me, though.
Yeah, Mizzou was kind of, and I mean, yeah, they've gotten better over the past couple of years, but you know, they've been spotty at best.
Right.
When it comes to consistency in their season.
That is a fair statement. When you come into the league, and I think the first 2 years you get to the SEC championship game, that's kind of wild. But then you're like nothing for the next several years. Now you're back again. It's weird. It's hard to really figure out what contributions you're having to the conference in football when you're up and down like that. And that statement could be said for everybody who's in the SEC, but
yeah,
for someone coming in that already kind of feels like a weird fit, it makes it a little bit harder to accept them. But who knows? Maybe we're talking about the very beginning of a Missouri dynasty. Probably not. But who knows? Yeah. Anything's crazy. Sir, it is great to hear from you. Again, I thank you for being a man of your word, and I know we'll be seeing each other on TikTok and hopefully some more around here whenever you can.
Yep, you can't give me no more crap now.
No more crap. You are the one person that has told me that they will call in and actually did it. So you are now free of that ridicule. I can't promise what Dalton's going to say to you, but for me, as far as I'm concerned, we're good.
Yeah, I gotta give props to my man Dalton, because if it hadn't been for him, I would have completely forgot.
That's understandable. It happens. Yeah, we only gave you the crap just because you were a good sport about it. And I always say this to people: we pick on the ones we like the most, even the Alabama fans.
And to the Auburn fans, y'all have a good quarterback.
Yep.
Just have faith. Don't trash somebody you haven't seen but a few times.
Agreed. Well said. I think that was a perspective I hope that most Auburn fans will take for this season. Because
I've seen it time and time again on TikTok. Oh, Peyton Thorne's crap. Peyton Thorne's not good. Peyton Thorne's not good. You haven't. All you've seen so far this year is spring.
Yep. A lot of people aren't willing to open up to the fact that somebody can change and somebody can get better and somebody can improve. Time and time again, that's been the case for players. Yeah. And maybe it won't be Peyton Thorne, but I have belief and I have faith that it will be. And doesn't really matter what we think. It's about all that matters with the coaches, because they're the ones that are going to put the starting quarterback out there, and they seem pretty set on him right now. All right, Dalton. Thanks for calling in, buddy. Good to hear from you.
Micah, you mean?
Micah, I'm sorry. I was looking at Dalton's name. Micah, thank you so much for calling in, my man. Appreciate you.
You have a good one, man.
All right, you too, Micah. All right, that was good to hear from him. We appreciate him calling in to the show and hanging out with us. You guys have the phone line open. Now, Dalton, it now shifts to you, my friend. He has called in. Why can't you? I'm going to start picking on Dalton now. It is, in all seriousness, I know when you click, someone says call into a show, stuff like that, it is a little bit intimidating because it just feels weird, right? You're put on display, all that stuff. You're basically giving me the right to have your name, your image, and all that stuff on there. But anyway, you guys that do call in, I really appreciate it. But I'm gonna start harping on Dalton calling in now, one of our Cocker Club members. So Micah is a good one now for doing that. All right. Let's see here. There were some comments and questions about some of the stuff that we were talking about. The most I ever paid for Auburn tickets was the first Iron Bowl in Auburn. A scalper sold me 2 tickets for $100 each. Now, in 1989, I would imagine that's quite a pretty penny. Now, that's not too far removed from where we are now, but I can imagine that's pretty expensive. Maybe equates to what, 175, 200 now. I'm not an economist, so I can't do the inflation math there. But 2 tickets for $100 each right now sounds great for the Iron Bowl. What else were you guys saying during all of that? We got another caller in. We'll go ahead. Oh, he's loading in. At least it looks like we've got maybe some connection issues there for a second. I'll give it a second and then we'll call him. I'll let him in. Dalton wants us to stop the expansions. I actually am accepting of the expansions. It's just something that's going to be part of life, I think. And we have to accept it at this point. All right, I'm going to bring him up. Let's see if he's connected or not. Mr. Brian, are you there? Hello. Hello. Brian? I saw you mute and unmute. It's not connected for some reason, though. Give it one more try, and we'll see if we can bring you back in on there. I saw you appear on the screen for like half a second in the green room. Dalton also is not opposed to us impeaching A&M and Mizzou. I kind of like them now that they're here. I'm already prepared for Texas and Oklahoma fans claiming the Red River rivalry is the best rivalry in the SEC. It's already happened, and it's already wrong. It's just what it is. All right. Here he is. What's going on, Mr. Brian?
Did that work?
You are on now, sir.
All right. I have no idea what you guys have been talking about all night. I just wanted to say War Eagle, and I hope everyone has a great 4th of July. That's all.
I appreciate you popping in at least to say that. Now, you're still up in Rhode Island, correct? That's
I'm in Rhode Island. Yes. I'm with my 9-year-old daughter. We were hanging out all week in Rhode Island, and we were out walking around. Got a big War Eagle yesterday walking down the street. A woman pulled her car over and asked me what years I was at Auburn. And I said, well, I really wasn't, but I'm a huge Auburn fan. So
there you go.
Yeah. Had a little War Eagle reunion on the streets of Newport, Rhode Island, which is always good.
It happens everywhere.
And we avoided that awful Crimson Tide. So.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know what he's referencing, if you're in our Cocker Club, you know, up there they do get a little natural phenomenon known as the red tide so often. Smells awful, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's smelly, it's gross, it's nasty, and everybody hates it. And I'm like, you know what another word for red is? Crimson. Yeah. So.
That would have you should have I don't know if you're on social media in general, but you should have just posted like a picture of that and it had a little joke with it.
I did post it on my Facebook. I've been kind of doing day 1, day 2, day 3 in Newport.
Yeah.
And I said this Auburn fan hates Crimson Tide, so we
there you go. You pulled it off.
Yeah, it's nasty, but yeah, I caught a little bit of your last discussion there about Texas and Oklahoma, and Texas is a way more natural fit than Oklahoma, but they're both great additions, I think, to the SEC. And if this is the beginning of the Missouri dynasty, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be very, very surprised. So.
By the way, any thoughts about venturing down to Missouri for that Auburn game?
What's the date? Do you know?
I'll look it up very quickly for you. It's going to be on the back half of the year.
Okay.
And I believe it's definitely October.
Okay.
Auburn 2024 schedule. It will be October 19th.
Oh, yeah, that's possible.
October 19th. It is a morning game, though. I don't know.
Well, that just means you got to go down on the 18th. That's all.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I can't admit you're not going to go to that one, are you?
Oh no. Yeah. Not this year. Too much going on to
that's
to
as
make
close
plans
as
about that.
That's as close as we get, though, to me.
That's why I was asking. I was curious if you'd make that trip down there.
Probably a 8-ish hour drive, 9-ish hour drive, but it's certainly doable. So.
Not terrible.
No,
I've driven worse.
As well. So.
And if you think about it this way, this has not been verbally said yet, or even written out in like a release or anything like that. But the schedules, this year will flip flop. That's confirmed for next year.
Yeah,
it's the exact same, just reverse, home and away. Now, what I'm assuming is going to happen is that after 2025, you're going to get everybody else plus your one that you keep, Alabama for us, flip flopped over, and then you'll do that for 2 years.
So will we lose Georgia? Will we lose Georgia that year?
I don't know, and but I'm sitting here trying to think of another scenario.
There isn't one
that works well without having to have someone not be seen for about 5+ years.
Yeah.
And I think that they're trying to do away with that.
Right. Which is
So-
good for the league. But man, to lose that Georgia rivalry would just be killer.
Unless you go to 9 games. If you go,
And I hope, and I would rather go to 9 and keep Georgia than stay at 8 and lose them. Personally, I mean that's a much harder road to where you want to go, but it's the way it should be, in my opinion.
But if that's the where we're heading anyway, you know, like we're all heading to a place where you barely play any of these smaller schools. Let's go ahead and get used to it now. I mean, it's just more great college football. Like as much as I love being on Auburn's camp, I will be just as excited to be on campus for Alabama A&M, for New Mexico, for Cal. But who's the other one at the back half of the year? I could look at. Have the schedule pulled up, Kyle.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, Lamo. But there is.
Okay.
It'll be so much more for games like Texas A&M or Georgia.
Will you be at the? I mean, I know it's early, but would you have plans to be at the Cal game?
Oh, I'm at every game this year.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah, I got season tickets again, so I'll be giving you guys in the Conquer Club the little inside scoops where I can. Yeah. But
I have a friend that lives out in Sonoma, and we agreed to do this home and home. So I went out there last year. We went to the game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We both have potential wedding conflicts. I don't know who thinks it's a good idea to get married on a college football Saturday for that game, and we're both trying hard to get out of them, but we'll see. So.
Don't you hate that? Don't you just hate people? Isn't that right, honey, that get married on college football Saturdays? My wedding anniversary was on a college football Saturday. I know.
You know what that is, my friend? That is true love.
It is. And it also helps when it's your wife's birthday.
Oh,
your father's birthday.
Okay.
You know, that just kind of, how do you say no to that?
You can't. And the good news is if you ever forget your anniversary, you are just in all kinds of trouble.
Right. And I'll also that date is very, important to me for a lot of reasons. And one of the other reasons why that I can't talk about publicly the day before that isn't very important for me too. And the other way, I used to tell this joke as well, that if I forget that date or that time period, obviously I'm in trouble with my wife for forgetting our anniversary, our birthday, my father for his birthday. And then I used to joke, well, if I forget around that time period too, September 11th right there, and I'll be in trouble with the nation.
I was going to say, it's got to be right around September 11th as I'm doing math in my head. Yeah.
So it's just like all these things are like compiled into one. So
it's not the 9th, is it?
No, 10th is our, is her birthday, my father's, and then the 9th is something else. But all that to be said, for people who, here's the thing. It was out of my control for a football Saturday being, but
it's not a Monday this year, so you're good. But yeah,
that's true. I'm just saying that we got to stop this. I know we were part of the problem. This football Saturday wedding things, move it to Sunday. Who cares?
The problem for me is it's my nephew. I haven't seen him in a long time. I don't think he'll miss me. There's a lot of people there, but still my nephew. So.
Well, just put on an orange and blue tie. A little subtle.
Oh, every tie I own, Kyle, is orange and blue.
That's what I like to hear.
I mean, every pair of tennis shoes I own is orange and blue. I mean, come on.
Wow, even the tennis shoes.
Brooks makes a really great pair of orange and blue tennis shoes. Yes. Great, most comfortable shoes in the world. I own a lot of orange and blue, as we all do. But
I have a whole closet that's dedicated to Auburn wardrobe stuff. I literally just go in there and pick one before the show and put it on. This is one. I
still need an E2C T-shirt or something, though, man.
Well, I mean, I've got it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Have you not gotten yours?
I've never done my thing. No, but
really,
I'm willing to buy it. I mean, that's
no. You if you have not gotten a T-shirt from me as part of we need to figure this out. If we have forgotten or missed that, I am sorry.
You have not forgotten. It's all on my side. It's not on your side. So
okay, we're gonna make that happen because you are owed that.
All right. Well, fair enough. Whatever. Well, that wasn't my point. My point is I would be happy to rep some E2C. That's all.
There you go. Well, we have it on our T Public site here at Teespring, which is connected to YouTube as well for people that want to buy it. It's there. I do need to do some more of that make some more, a few more designs and stuff like that. It's just that right now we've got the generic E2C thing, and I need a new one too. You know,
pretty good logo.
I'm kind of fond of it.
Yeah.
Clint came up with that, and he, obviously I helped a little bit in the input, but he was and I've gotten a lot better with the graphic design stuff these days, but not great. So I could do some things, but not as well as he can.
Well, I feel bad. I haven't been on much, and I do watch the replays. Summer in Minnesota is short, and it's very, very special. So
enjoy it.
We have to enjoy it while we can. So
yes, definitely. I understand summer. And listen, a lot of people check out during the summer anyway, but I know about, well, really it'll be the end of July, but really about August 15th, you're going to start seeing that buzz just start entering in, and everybody comes storming back.
I mean, you have a little Wisconsin connection. I mean, we just get these great summer nights where it's light till like 9:30ish at night. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say, I'm going to go inside at 7 and watch YouTube. I mean,
it's understood. It is understood. And I would probably judge you a little bit if you didn't utilize that.
Well, I appreciate that. All right. Well, War Eagle, happy Independence Day. I hope everyone has a great time and stay safe and fun. And like you said, before you know it, it's going to be football season.
Before you know it. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
All right. War Eagle, man.
All right, War Eagle. All right. That was our friend Brian. Thanks for calling in to him. We also got to hear from Micah tonight for the very first time, which was outstanding. And we also got to hear from Kevin, one of our regulars, our Captain Optimism of sorts. So we're closing the phone line down for right now. If you were getting in line, if you pop in here, I'll let you in for a minute or two, but we'll start winding down the show a little bit here. Final thoughts, questions, comments, topics that we haven't addressed yet. I'll go back and look at some of y'all's comments during our calls. Put them in now. Let's get those in rapid fire to end out the show. Of course, smash the like button if you haven't. Let me give you reminders about what to expect next here at E2C Network for scheduled stuff. Our next scheduled live stream will be this Sunday evening at 9 Eastern time. Sunday, 9 Eastern time. It is the Auburn Experience live recording of that podcast, the main show of everything we do, Austin and myself, episode 84. We are a long way from 48. 84, where we're going to talk about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. Don't miss it. It's always a good time. You can catch the replay as well, but it's always more fun when you do it on the live stream because we have a little bit of chat before and after too. If you're a TikTok person, we've got TikTok live streams during most midweek days. I would anticipate doing one tomorrow, even though it's a holiday. I don't have no plans for tomorrow. I've done hopefully all of my traveling for the summer for right now, outside of a few things. But yeah, follow us everywhere. Make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube, on Facebook. If you're following there, all those good things, you know the drill. Don't miss out on anything from E2C Network. All right. E2C Network brought to you by Brooks Running Shoes. Very funny. Latrell says, we got a job on campus for you. For me? Or for who? Who were you talking to there? CJ says, I was at a wedding where they played the game at the reception. It was part of my request that the ending of it be on at my reception. The problem is that the game ended right before our reception started. And according to some of our people that were in attendance, it was the Auburn, Mississippi State year. And I think Dak Prescott's, maybe that's too early. Anyway, no, it wasn't Dak Prescott. Who is the other very tall, very powerful, very Cam Newton-like quarterback they had? Not Dak. But anyway, he made a dive or a run for the goal line to win the game, and Auburn stopped him at the goal line. They said, right as we said our I do's is when it happened. That was according to them. I'm not saying it's true, but they said it timed up perfectly. Funny story about that, though. So obviously it's a Saturday in September. You're going to be conflicting with college football and Auburn football. And I made my peace with that. But we are obviously the day of our wedding, getting everything lined up, ready to go. It's about time to start getting people lined up to walk down aisles and things like that, groomsmen. And mind you, the majority of my family, my immediate family, are Auburn fans, and the friends that I had there too that were part of the wedding. Well, we look around, about time to go down the aisles, get everybody lined up, and nobody can be found. And so I start looking for my groomsmen, and I start walking down into the corridors of this church and can't find them. I looked in the bathrooms, and then finally I hear this buzzing noise off in the distance. And all of a sudden, you turn a corner, it gets a little louder. You turn another corner, it gets a louder. And I can just hear this faint, like whispering and murmur along with this buzzing. I finally turned another corner into a classroom or something like that. And in the darkness, huddled around this one radio was not just all my groomsmen, but my uncles, some of my cousins who weren't part of the festivities, all huddled in this room, friends and family too, listening to the game. And I'm like, are we doing this today? Like, are we getting married? And finally they left, but they gave me the update. So I kind of fussed at him a little bit, but then at the same time, I'm like, hey, what's the score, man? So always an interesting dynamic when you have weddings and football, but Auburn football mixed in together. All right. Fun little story to end the night. Thank you guys so much for being here, hanging out with me on Auburn Family Night, Wednesday nights. This one's in the books. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, spending some time with us. Smash that like button out the door. And we hope to see you here, not just every Wednesday, but on Sunday nights as well. You guys are the best little family within the Auburn family. And I mean that. So thank you so much. Till I talk to you again. War Eagle.